Alright, so Jacob here, Jacob's Green, having a coffee, going over this 301. Now, in my last video, we took it apart and cleaned it all up. I found a whole whack of stamps on it, but I didn't find one that said Lee Enfield. Didn't find any of them with the caliber on it either. No stampings, no markings with caliber. It just says England. And I've got this RO FM number 4 MK1 1941 right here. Anyway, so right now it's my second coffee, so I'm not too worried about, enjoying it too much. I'm still gonna enjoy it. Just I'm gonna get in on this thing here now. First, we want to do is we want to clean the metal. I've got it all scratched down. Now we want to take all the grease off, any dirt, any oil, any contaminants that may be on it. And I've got this metal cleaner here. It's pretty good stuff. So what I'll do basically is just get this sponge and well, let's give it a shake first. And I just kind of saturate the end of the sponge there with it. Kind of like that. Get it good and saturated. Now I should be wearing, safety glasses and gloves. It is corrosive. It's a metal cleaner. I shouldn't have my coffee near it either, but basically we're just going to give it a good scrub with this stuff. Get in wherever we can, wherever we're going to blue. I cleaned up all the inside here because I noticed some wear marks and a few burrs. So I just kind of took a sandpaper in there and cleaned it all up inside, right in there. Maybe it'll give it a nice smoother action with the bolt. And so just clean it all up like that, all the way up. All the way as much as I can. Like I said, I should be wearing gloves and glasses and stuff, but whatever. So that'll basically loosen everything off, right off the metal. It'll just, whatever's sticking to the metal and grabbing onto it, it'll just lift it right off. And I'll just rinse this off under some water, under some warm water. Not too hot, not for this process. So, and get all the pieces. I'll get all of them because I'm gonna blue all of it, right? Everything that I scratched up, I'm gonna re-blue that. So, yeah, I'll just clean all this up, and then I'll wash it under the water. See, I'm losing my foam there, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit more on here for this one last piece here. There, see, we want to make sure it's all in there. It's going to be good. It's going to be nice. Not much I can do about the inside. Can't get my fat fingers in there, but that's pretty much it. Everything that I'm going to blue. That spring for that box is still pretty good. So, yeah. That's that. Now I'll just take it over to the tub and rinse it under some water. And that should be good. We can start the bluing process right after that. Rags. So I'll put it on pause for now and I'll go wash this off and I'll come back and I'll show you how we blew it. So there it is, all cleaned up. I got the metal washed, dried off. We're ready to start bluing. We'll get into the gun blue. Anyway, it's pretty much the same process as the cleaning it with the gun cleaner or the metal cleaner. Just put it on this sponge, saturate the sponge No. This is the part that I like the best. You know, you get to see the results almost immediately. I'll just set this over here and try not to touch it if I can help it, and we just wipe it on. Wipe it on. Don't leave any streaks or anything, no bubbles or what have you. Just wipe it on. Get it in there good, and don't be afraid about, you know, being aggressive. You can be aggressive and get her soaked right in there. Soak it up. See how quickly that happens? Right? I'll put some more. I don't have a choice. I have to get some more on there. And that's the thing. One of these little bottles will probably do 3 little projects like this. Right? Straight up the barrel. Straight up the barrel. And then back down the barrel. Right? It'll take a few couple 3 applications for it to work. But basically, yeah, you just rub it on like that. Make sure you don't get any bubbles. Make sure it's nice and on there even, or that'll all just show right up if you're not careful. You don't want to go through all the trouble of restoring it and then have a crappy blue job because of bubbles. And it's starting to dry up right here already, you can see. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but yeah. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to dry. And then you rinse it off with hot water. Super hot water. I guess the hot water, it reacts with the chemicals in the bluing agent, and like I said, there's a chemical reaction, and the blue just stays right in the steel. Well, I just like to keep it moving so there's no bubbles or ripples. Makes for a really nice finish in the end. So I think I'll just leave this now. That's one good coat to start with, and I'll leave that for 5 minutes or so and let it dry, and I'll do the rest of them. This little guy here and this little guy here, another trigger. And I'll show you what it all looks like when it's dry, and then I'll give it a rinse, and I'll show you what it looks like after it's rinsed for the first time. Hang in there. So there we have the first bluing done. It's a little bit darker than it was before. We got a nice bluing going on in there now. Just a few spots where it didn't really take too well, but that's alright. That's what the second and third passes are for. You know, it's starting to get nice and blue. You know, I got all this started, and I got all it cleaned, and I got it all blued. And we went through the whole, that's how that's starting to look too. We went through the whole process, and I sat down and had a sip of my coffee and looked and said, hey, I'm missing something. Realized that the bolt wasn't here. And I remembered I started this video yesterday, And at the end of my last video, I cracked into a beer, and so I put the bolt away. I locked the bolt away in my safe because we all know that guns and alcohol don't mix, and there's no exception to that. So my gun day ended when I cracked that beer, and now I'm having a coffee again, and I remembered the bolt. I took the bolt out and got her blued up. One of the things you got to do between stages is you get this little 000 steel wool, and you just got to give it a little quick little whoosh, 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 and get rid of anything that might be, a burr or whatever. And that's it. You don't have to scrub on it. Just give it a quick little wipe between bluings. Gives it a nice smooth finish in the end. So that's all. It just knocks everything off. When after you run it under the hot water, you get like a green film, like a dry powdery haze that you got to wipe off with a towel, and that's only normal. But then you give it a wipe, blue it again, hot water, do that 2-3 times, whatever you prefer, maybe 5. And then after the last step, you will oil it up. We'll show you how that works too. So I'm going to do these a couple more times, maybe pour another coffee, and yeah, I'll finish the bluing on this, complete it right up, and unpause it and show you what it looks like, and we'll go on to the next step. So here it is. We've got 4 coats of blue. It took a while. You gotta wait 5-10 minutes in between and wash it off and clean it up, but see a big difference now. Look at that bolt. That bolt. Turned out nice, see? The bolt cartridge. Right? Very nice. Even this, look how shiny that is. Even those little spots, the machine marks came out the way I wanted them. Can you see that? Right? The machine marks came out nice. Oh yeah. So these are oiled up, and I've got this. That's all done now too. Nice and shiny. It took a lot. This steel went through a hell and back, obviously. The bluing did not want to adhere to some spots, like obviously right there where it was brazed. But and I'm sure there's some blood on it along the barrel where it, blood. I can see finger spots, like there's some there in the middle. Doesn't always, if that blood dried in, then it might not take, right? It might stain a little bit more. But yeah, there it is. I'll throw it all back together. What I'm doing now, what I've done now, since it's all blued and cleaned up, I'm just dropping a little bit of oil on it now. Like 1 drop, 2 drops, a little bit of oil. A couple drops go a long way. And I'll give it a very, very, very light oiling just to bring out that black. You see, I'll give you a little. See how that just starts to get nice and black there in comparison to the rest of it, right? And that will actually give that bluing a good seal and get rid of some of the imperfections from the bluing itself, from the steel, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, once you get all that, you just let it sit probably overnight, and you wipe it in as much as you can. After this, I'll probably rub this for, I don't know, half an hour. You know, when I'm done, and then and that's it. That's pretty much it. Tomorrow, it should be, soaked into the metal a little bit, and I'll give it a wipe with a nice soft cotton rag and put it all back together. But well, the steel part anyway, I'll put the trigger back together and put the bolt and all that, put all that back together, and then we'll start working on refinishing the stock. I got a little bit more to sand off the stock. I'm not quite happy with it yet, but I've also been restoring an old Cooey, so I'll probably do another coat on the stock on the Cooey. It's got 3 on it already. I would like to get another. I don't know, it's old. So yeah, I'll probably do all that at once. Get the stock for this 303 and the stock for the Cooey, and we'll true oil that, make it shine. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm going to finish my oiling. Probably another 20 minutes or so. I'll finish rubbing it up, and I'm gonna lock this pin up. I'm gonna lock this pin up right now because I'm thinking on having a wee wobbly pop. This day's been good. It's been long. It's been good. Got a little spider on here. Just wants to. Oh, there he goes. So yeah, a little bit of oiling. Lock the pin up in my gun cabinet and put all this away for the day. Have a beer, relax. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. You know it. Subscribe, like, comment, share, follow. Please comment. I love the comments. Anyway, cheers. Peace out.